Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So continuing with React, in today's video I'll be demonstrating you how you can perform a simple HTTP request, that is asynchronous HTTP request using the library called Axios. So Axios is a npm or a basic HTTP library which is used for uh, fetching or performing any API request such as get, post, put, that is update and delete. So these are the basic operations performed while performing any API request. So Axios is a library which actually simplifies the process of performing those requests. So in today's video I'll be demonstrating you how you can perform a simple get request and a post request using Axios. So I'll be using React for this, and for that you'll have to get started with the basic command, that is you need to have a folder. For example, in my case, which I've done over here, is create an empty folder, which can be simply like this. You can just create it and open it using VS Code, and once you open it within VS Code there will be nothing initially. So over here you can right click and open in terminal, right? Mine is already open, so I'll just continue with it and type in the command npx create react app and the project name or the react app name, right? So for example, the react app name or the project name which I have considered is demo, so you can use that. And once the dependencies and the modules are done installing, the folder structure you get over here is something like this, right? Now once the installation is completed, make sure you get into the folder, that is the projects folder, that is cd demo, which I've already done over here, that is demo, and within that I have the folder project name, that is demo, right? So once you get in there, you'll have to perform a simple npm start, which will basically start a boilerplate of the React app, basic React app which you get initially. So you can remove all that. So for example, over here you'll get nothing, so the basic boilerplate code will be available within the this class name app. So I've just removed it everything, and as you have seen in my previous videos that I've shown you how you can import components within this division or the main app.js. So now you have to create a component. So for in this case, what I've done over here is I've not created a folder and a basic folder structure and things like that. I've just randomly created a component which is home.js. So this is my component which I'll be performing a simple get and a post request. So before that, you also make sure that you install Axios using the npm command. So for installing Axios, you can hit the command npm install Axios, which will enable uh, the library to be used within the project, and it will be not installed globally. So this is a command. Make sure you install npm before performing any operations, that is get or post. And once that is done, you will get the dependency over here. Okay, now this one. Okay, and so as you can see, you will have some dependencies of Axios somewhere. I can see over here right now, but it will be somewhere, right? Okay, no problem. So we'll just get started with the uh, program. And this is my home.js component. So there is a simple state that is home state. You can name it whatever you want, and basically when you perform an API request, you need to do it within the component did mount lifecycle. So these are the lifecycles which are used within a React package, or when the component is rendered and things like that. I'll just give some good documentation on component lifecycle of a React. That is a component did mount, will mount. I guess will mount is deprecated, but did mount is very important because it uh, actually loads after the entire pages load. So it actually is performed. So if you have any get request, uh, you can perform it after the render. So component did mount actually runs after the render is completed. So yeah, so the basic approach is you can do component mount over here, and within this uh, brackets you can write the entire uh, get request code. So I'll just remove this, and this is the code for it. So this will perform an entire get request. So for that, yeah, you need to import Axios, right? So over here you have Axios imported. So this is the way you can import it. And the second step within the did mount procedure, you'll have to give a URL from where your data is actually being served, right? So this is a JSON placeholder, fake online API kind of a service. So I'll just link the site's name. So you can just check over here resources. I'll just provide it into the description, and you can just check the various links which can perform multiple things. So for routes you get multiple gets, post, put, that is update as well, and delete. So these are the basic operations you perform when doing a code operations or an API request. So over here we're going to use this route. So when you right click and open in a new tab, you'll get a JSON file basically. So as you can see, this is a JSON data, and you'll have a array of 100 objects, right? Let's see something like this. So let's copy this entire route, place it over here within the string, right? And this is a way of writing the promise. So once the data is been fetched from the server or the fake online API service, you'll either can console it, which is like this, or you can just directly set the state of the data which is being fetched into your component state. So for in this case it is home state, right? So I'm just directly setting the state of the home state with the data which is being fetched through the get request. So this is how you can perform a get request. So there are multiple ways. I'll just show you. The GitHub repo where you can see multiple ways of, of performing that get request, right? So you'll generally have a data, probably it is JSON format, mostly it will be JSON format, and this is the GitHub repo for Axios. So it will tell you the installation procedure using yarn and npm. So it will tell you, other you can, if you're using a simple HTML, not a React thing as a front end, then you can use the CDN for performing the get request or post or whatever you want. And so this is how you can make a simple get request. You can either create an instance as well, and within that instance you can do that get request. So I'll just provide this link of the Axios in the description below. Just give it a read, it will be really helpful, and it will get things in clearly in a better way. So this is how you write a simple get request, sorry, using Axios in component did mount lifecycle. So when the component is being rendered, the component did mount is called after the render is completed. So your data will be fetched once your component is being rendered after, right? So this is the URL, and this is how you do a get. This is the data which is being fetched, and if there's some error, it will be catched in this block. So the error will be printed in this format if there's an error, any kind of. So I'm just directly setting the state of my component to the data which is being fetched, right? So this is how you can simply give a fetch get request using Axios, and this is my component. So I'm just having a simple home page, a paragraph, a simple you can just wait for this. I'm just having a simple home and welcome paragraph. You don't need a button for this because you're just simply making a get request, so you don't need any on click event for that. You can, but for this particular case we don't require one, right? So let's start the server. npm start, and over here we'll have the development server up and running, and you will see a simple home page and a welcome to demo paragraph. Actually this component is being used or imported over here within the app.js main component, or the root component, you can call it as simply like this. So this is how you can import it, and you can use it within the uh, app like this, right? So this is how you get the component rendered. So how you can know the data is being fetched, right? So you can simply uh, click the F12 option and you will see an object, right? So the object is basically the get request, nothing other stuff, right? So this is the basic data which we have seen, an array of 100 objects, and yep, this is the basic get request you can perform using Axios. So I'll just clear this and re-render refresh the page again. So as you can see, array of 100, status 200. This status means that the data has been successfully, or the fetched, or the procedure has been performed successfully, and yep, you can use or iterate within this data to render your entire page. And you can see multiple attributes within this, that is a user id, title, and body. So you can this, or you can get into this array and within that object, and you can iterate within that and build up an entire page using this data. Just simply you can use that data, right? So this was the basic demonstration of a simple get request. So basically get request is used mainly for rendering a page, nothing much, because you don't post any data, right? Now as we are done with the get request, so this is how you can perform a get request, simple get request using Axios in React, and this is your output you can see over here. Now we'll get into how you can perform a simple post request. So for post request, uh, we'll have the same route. So this is our route, right? So as you can see over here, this is our route, right? So you can simply copy the link from the get request which we have used over here. And we can just uncomment over here, and we'll just comment this button as well. Okay, 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, so for post request we need a on click handler. So this is our on click handler post data, and we have a data in the variable data. So over here you can see user id title and body, right? So this format is somewhat similar to the data which we have seen in the get request, right? So if you go to this and click, you can see such a format, right, where the object over here has four properties, that is the user id title and the body, right? So this entire structure is important because this JSON format has that kind of a structure where the data which you post or send to the server is basically in this format. So make sure you have an object in this manner. Okay, so four properties: user id title and the body, right? And such you can write anything you want within that, the title, the id, and whatever you want within this. So this is our object, and for the post request we'll use the similar route and comma the data. So the data which we are sending over here is this variable, so within that variable we have our object, right? So comma the data, then basically a promise, within then you are sending the data and you're console logging it. If there's any error, you'll get an error, and we are done with the post handler, right? So over here our post handler is done. So this is how you can basically perform a post request within with the same route from the fake online service. And the data over here is this, which has been written in this format. Make sure you have the four properties of that object, that is the user id title and the body, right? And this is the post request, and the handler, that is the post data, is been used within this button. So on click this post data and submit. So let's see what we get. So as you can see, the submit is activated, and you can just see over here, this is a get request. Let's remove this and refresh it. You can see this is the get request data array of 100, and let's see what we get when we perform a post request. Okay, so we got a response of with the status 201. Let's see what we have in here. So the data which we have posted is this user id 101. So basically user IDs have been attached to accordingly to them. The title and the body is what we have posted. So this can basically be a sign up form or a login page where you are sending your username or an email ID within with your password, etc., right? So this can be your user ID or username, and this can be your password. This, so basically post request is used for uh, sending data to the server and seeing that you have some kind of an authentication with the server, right? Like basically a login form or a sign up kind of a form, right? So yeah, this was it. This was the post handler where you are doing a post request with a data. You can type in whatever you want over here, and OkayDexter random. Let's see what we have. Submit. and as you can see, the title has been changed and we have successfully posted that data, right? So this is how you can perform a simple post request using Axios, and with a simple post handler with a button on click event, and this is how you perform a get request. So get request is something that you can either perform on a on click event and component did mount lifecycle. It's up to you and it's up to your use case. So for just a demonstration purpose, how you can perform is you can do it within the component did mount. So this is how you can perform a get and a post request in React using the Axios library. So in the next video, we'll be seeing how you can perform a put and a delete request. So put is basically update and delete is a delete request with using Axios. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.